in few of the last 2 years since my wife died.
There are moments in life when everything you once believed in collapses. Moments when the world you knew disappears and all that's left is silence. For Viktor Frankl, that silence came in the freezing air of Auschwitz. He was stripped of his home, his family, his clothes, even his name. He became just a number 119104. The guards could take everything from him, but there was one thing they could never touch, his mind. And that was where freedom still lived. You see, Frankl discovered something that changed humanity forever, that even when your body is imprisoned, your mind can remain free. He learned that there is one freedom no one can ever take away, the freedom to choose your attitude, to decide how you will respond, to rise, even when everything around you falls apart. Every day in the concentration camp was a confrontation with death. People were starving, beaten, humiliated. Men who once had dreams, families, and hopes were reduced to shadows of their former selves. And yet, among those dying souls, Frankl saw something extraordinary. He saw that even in hell, some people still smiled. Even in despair, some whispered a kind word. Even facing death, some found the strength to comfort others. How? Why? Because deep inside they still had one thing, a reason to live. Frankl called it the will to meaning. He realized that the greatest human need is not pleasure, not power, but purpose. To know why you are alive, even when you can't control how you live. And he said, those who have a why to live can bear almost any how. In the darkest nights, when he thought he could not go on, he would close his eyes and imagine his wife, her face, her smile, her warmth. He did not even know if she was alive, but in his heart he spoke to her. He said, love is as strong as death. No matter what happens, my love gives my life meaning. And in that moment, he understood something profound, that the mind filled with love and purpose is freer than the body in chains. Freedom of the mind is not about escaping your circumstances. It's about transcending them. You can take away a man's possessions, you can take away his freedom, but you cannot take away his spirit unless he surrenders it himself. That is what Frankl refused to do. He watched how some men gave up. They lay down on the cold ground and whispered, "It's over." And within days their bodies followed their minds, they were gone. But others, those who held on to a spark of purpose, they endured. They found meaning even in suffering. They turned pain into strength. They chose to live not because life was easy, but because life, no matter how cruel, still had meaning. And that, my friend, is the ultimate freedom, to choose how you respond when life breaks you. To look at your suffering and say, "You will not destroy me, you will define me." Frankl said, everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. Think about that. Even in a place designed to erase humanity, he found the greatest truth about being human. That between stimulus and response, there is a space, and in that space lies our power to choose. That space is freedom. When the guards shouted, when the cold burned through his skin, when he carried the bodies of those who could no longer walk, he whispered to himself, "They can control my body, but not my mind. They can command my hands, but not my spirit." That inner voice kept him alive. That choice to stay free within was his rebellion, his victory. Frankl didn't just survive the camps, he transcended them. And when he was finally freed, he carried with him not hatred, but wisdom. He understood that true freedom is not political, not physical, but psychological. You can live in a free country and still be a prisoner of your own mind. You can walk under an open sky and still be chained by fear, resentment, and despair. But you can also be locked behind barbed wire and still be free within yourself. That's what Frankl proved. After the war, when he returned to Vienna, he discovered the truth he had feared most. His wife, his parents, and his family were gone. All that remained was his suffering. But instead of drowning in it, he transformed it. He turned his pain into purpose. He founded logotherapy, a therapy built on one belief, that life always has meaning no matter what happens. He wrote Man's Search for Meaning not as a story of despair, but as a declaration of hope. He said, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves." And that is the core of freedom of the mind. You cannot always control your life. You cannot stop pain, loss, or death. But you can always decide what that suffering will mean to you. You can let it destroy you, or you can let it shape you. You can become bitter, or you can become wise. You can surrender, or you can rise. The choice is always yours. Frankl's life reminds us that freedom is not something someone gives you. It is something you awaken within yourself. No prison can hold it. No guard can chain it. No storm can drown it. Because freedom of the mind is not about escaping life. It's about embracing it fully, even when it hurts. He wrote, "What is to give light must endure burning. If you want to shine, you must endure. If you want to live meaningfully, you must face suffering. But when you do, when you stop running from pain and start learning from it, you discover what Frankl discovered, that pain is not the enemy. It is the teacher. So when your life feels unbearable, when everything seems lost, remember Viktor Frankl. Remember the man who stood in the ashes of humanity and still said, yes, life still has meaning. You have that same power. You have that same choice. Your freedom does not depend on what happens to you. It depends on what happens within you. Maybe right now you feel trapped. Maybe your world feels small. Maybe you are surrounded by things you cannot change. But you still have that last human freedom to choose your attitude, to choose your response, to choose to rise. That's what makes you free. Frankl survived the camps not because he was lucky, but because he believed in something larger than himself. He believed that life asks one question of each of us. Will you give up or will you rise? And every moment, every breath, every decision is your answer. Freedom of the mind begins when you stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what can I become through this? That's what Viktor Frankl did. He became the proof that even in the worst conditions imaginable, the human spirit cannot be broken. So, today, whatever your prison may be, fear, pain, loss, or doubt, remember you still have that inner freedom. You still have the power to think, to hope, to believe, to love, to choose meaning over despair. Because freedom is not found outside of you. It's found in how you see the world, how you respond to it, how you rise above it. Viktor Frankl's story is not just history. It is a mirror. It reflects what is possible inside you. He showed the world that even when everything is taken away, you still own your greatest treasure, your mind, your heart, your spirit. He showed us that life is never meaningless, as long as you have the courage to give it meaning. So when life feels empty, when you feel lost or powerless, remember this: no one can imprison your mind. No one can steal your attitude. No one can take away your will to rise. You are free, not because life is easy, but because you have chosen to be. Freedom of the mind, the last and greatest of all human freedoms. Guard it. Live it. And no matter what happens around you, never let anyone take it away, because that is where your true power begins,